Oh my gosh, so much flavor. And look at that surprise in them meatballs. Stuffed her full of mozzarella cheese on the inside. That's what you call a cowboy meatball sub. You ain't searching to find the meat in this sandwich. Cowboy meatball sub sandwich. Yes, I'm thinking about so good and so easy, but first of all, it's a little chilly out here today, it is, and I like to be staying warm, I do, and I would like to thank the folks at ARIAT for sponsoring this video. I have my vest on, but I need my crew to look good also. I need my pups to be warm and looking good, so where is Magey? Mage, come here, buddy. You're right up here. Did you know, folks, that ARIAT also made dog vests? And look here, Mage, you're gonna put yours on today because it's a little bit chilly, it is.
Oh, he's gonna look so sharp.
Oh my gosh, ain't you gonna be so handsome looking? So, we have more than just one crew member, Dooker.
Why don't you try to get one on Cletus?
You wanna wear a jacket, Cletus? Come here. It's okay, Cletus.
Yeah, no.
Dooker says, I know about them. I have worn it before. There's Dooker.
Maybe try the Beeg.
It won't fit around Big's stomach. Will it, Big? Big says, well, I guess I'll wear it if that's what it means we get to eat.
It's kind of like a cape on Beeg.
So we really do thank the folks at ARIAT because they can keep me looking good, but don't forget your furry little friends there because they can make them stay warm all winter as well. You can check out our favorites down there in the link below, but let's get started making that cowboy sub sandwich. When to me you talk about meatballs, we're talking about ground beef, but I'm not talking just to making these out of ground beef. I'm talking about ground chuck. That's what I think makes the best ground beef.
So what's the difference?
Well, you're coming off the chuck part of the animal. Chuck roast up here is not just something other than a scrap piece of meat that we're going to throw in the grinder and grind for hamburger, and we're going 80-20 because we need that fat content in there to keep these meatballs good tender as they can be. If we got about a pound here, we're going to make 2 sandwiches, we hope. We have about a half of a white onion. Just sprinkle in there really well. You reckon down there at Subway, or maybe even Firehouse Subs, or maybe even Jimmy John's, or all them other places that make, do they put bacon, Shan, in their meatball subs?
I don't know if their meatball subs are even made of meat.
Hey, I hear you there, I do. So we're gonna add some bacon in there, some original seasoning. Now while we're doing this, beforehand, I took me some water in a stock pot, put in 2 red ripe vine tomatoes, 6 garlic cloves, and about a half of a white onion. And we're just gonna boil them up till they get tender. Because when we're talking about a meatball sub and marinara, yes, so we're not buying that stuff out of the jar. We're gonna make our own, folks. I'm gonna tell you how simple it is and how easy it is, and you're gonna be telling yourself, I'm gonna use this on pizza, I'm gonna use it on everything. So when we make these, a recommended size I would think would be
like
about the size of a golf ball. So just get them rolled up pretty well uniform in size. They're gonna shrink just a little when we go to cooking them. And I'd like to have about 8 of these if I could, 4 to the sub roll. And I'm gonna tell you people something that's out there watching. We appreciate you so much, and I'm gonna give you a little secret here. I'm gonna say it pretty quietly. I want you to look at that flag. There's hardly any wind blowing.
It's so nice.
I mean, this is so nice.
Well, hurry and get it done before it does.
Okay, your meatball, remember I told you there was a surprise? Take your finger and just make you an indentation in there, and then take you some of this here, what you call mozzarella cheese. Stick her down in there, and then I want you to fold that meat back over it so we can cover all that cheese up. It's just added goodness. It's sort of like an Easter egg hunt, and you got the prize egg you did. So let me get these stuffed. We'll get about our business. We have fried those up about 4 or 5 pieces of bacon there, and you've seen me over there chopping that up. Save that bacon grease because this is what we're going to first fry. What? There are meatballs in there that is stuck in there with some of that good cheese. You can hear that sizzling, you can. We're probably running on about medium-low heat. And you got to turn these as you go along because we're going to cook them to about, I would say, a little past medium. Probably going to take about 10 minutes to cook these meatballs, but we're going to roll them around pretty constantly to get them browned all the way through and done in the middle. So don't run off and leave them, think you can go take a nap or something like that. But you'll see these brown up pretty quick. When you got bacon grease and everything else going on in there, you know it's going to be good. Now, if you want to start browning these in a skillet and then slip them into about a 350-degree oven for about 15 minutes, you'll be in pretty good shape. You just don't want to overcook them because remember, we got that 80-20 ground chuck and we want them meatballs to be tender in every bite. You've heard me say this before, not all cast iron skillets come with a lid, but you've always probably in your drawer got a lid that might fit them. But when you're cooking something like this and you need it to get done a little quicker, if you'll cover that, you can do it with a bowl, you can do it with a glass lid off another skillet, but that's just going to trap some of that heat in there to where we get done a little quicker. So just cause it ain't got a lid, look around in your kitchen. I bet you got one. And meatballs is finishing up over. I'm probably going to cook them, if you want to check the internal temp, to about 135 because ground beef they always say is at 140, but we're going to put these back in the sauce and let them simmer some more. So they'll be all right over there. I got the fire out there just minding their own business. You can see these tomatoes have got like we wanted them. The skin will peel very easily. It will. Let it cool a little. It'll burn your fingers if you don't. Get that core out. Drop them in that chopper blender there. This stuff is so good. Now remember all them onion and that garlic that we put down in there. We be needing it to go right in here with the rest of it. Go ahead and get you some dried oregano if you got it. And it don't take much, folks. I'm saying about 1.5 teaspoons is about all we're gonna need. And we'll salt and pepper this to taste after that sauce gets to cooking a little, because really this is the star of the show, this sauce. I know it's a meatball sub, but folks, this sauce is so special to me that it moved right up to the top of the ladder, it did. So we're gonna get it blended well, if I remember how to work this thing.
Where'd that cord come from?
The chicken pin it did. Because ain't no plug. I looked all over the wagon for 30 minutes trying to find a 110-volt electric plug, but there's not one. Cookie never had one.
So you're cheating?
Yeah, I'm cheating today because it takes a long time to grind them maters up by hand and get it like you want it. So this pulsating, generating, fix-it-all blender deal will get that job done really quick. Last time I think I used one of these was out there in Carol's house and it disintegrated the cabinets, remember? Too much pressure, brother. Sorry, Carol.
We got the wall painted red. Don't try this at home.
So, all right, we have liftoff. All right, we got our tomatoes and stuff blended up well. One of them cans of tomato paste, I need you to get it out of there. Now I know people have told me, and Kent hasn't done it yet, but a really good way that you can do this is go ahead and cut the other end out of this can right here too, and then you can push that plumb through to where you get it all. So you try that at home, let me know how it works. What do you think, Big? You liking your ARIAT coat, staying warm? You in the Meiji? So to that, I'd say about 1.5 tablespoons of butter. So we need to take this back over to the fire and get the butter and the tomato paste incorporated well before we add the rest of this to it. So I'll meet you back at the little burner. Well, the butter is melted, it is, and make sure that you don't burn that tomato sauce, so keep an eye on it. We're gonna go ahead and add the rest of this sauce to it. Right there. Go to mixing, because we want that to get back to that red consistency. Probably turn your heat down to about medium-low. And we're just going to let this simmer. 2 basil leaves. Chop them up pretty fine, but it sure brings a rich, authentic flavor to this marinara sauce. And I'll tell you what it's going to need right off the bat is just another little shake of what? Oregano, some salt, and some black pepper. You know, as I made this and tasted along through there, I got to thinking, you got to cowboy this up. It's missing something. I prowled around the kitchen there for a long time, and then I remembered red chili. I think that's what it's needs. So you've seen me use this product before, and we just added a little bit in there. It comes from that Hatch Valley, so you know that freshness and that goodness is going to be in each and every jar. I'm going to put me about 2 tablespoons in there and taste it. Let's give it a taste here. Get that little bit of kick right there at the end, and that's what we're after. We're going to put them meatballs back in here and let all this just sit there and simmer around for probably about 10 minutes while we get our bread ready to make our sub sandwich. We're getting awful close to putting them sandwiches together, so I'm going to take them hoagie rolls and split them in half. Don't cut them plumb through because you don't want to break that seam in the middle when you do that. Then we're going to put a little butter on both sides, Parmesan cheese on one side, mozzarella cheese on the other, because you gotta have that cheese in there to seal that sandwich up on the bottom with this sauce, because we're gonna melt that cheese in a Dutch oven today. Now, if you're doing it in the house, preheat that oven to about 450 degrees, and you're just gonna get it melty and bubbly cheese. Then we're gonna pull it back out here and put the meatballs to it and go to town. Them other sandwich shops ain't got nothing on the Cowboy. I'm talking about, look at all that goodness in there. And you don't have to worry about, is there a bite of meat in this sandwich? Everybody getting 2 meatballs per half they are. Now, you seen me over and was toasting that cheese a little bit to get it to melt. Had to add me a few more coals on top of that Dutch oven to get it really melted. But you can do that in the oven, oh so easy. Right now, I am gonna take me a bite right here out of this one. Italian dance. Woo.
I don't think that's how Italians dance.
Yes. This is better than the one I fixed the day before yesterday. Look there in the middle. That surprise I was telling you, that mozzarella cheese in there. Folks, I'll just tell you, the sauce and that cheese inside them meatballs, magnifico. I mean, it is so good. This is probably the best sandwich I've eaten since we maybe done the Cuban sandwich so long ago, Shannon. I mean, this is outstanding. Pups, that meat's got some onions in it. Y'all are gonna have to be some Wisconsin cheese people today, so Biggie.
Oh.
And folks, oh, easy. You know, in the last video we mentioned that Big had been sort of under the weather. We think he might have had a stroke. And he's had so much outpouring of care from comments on the prayers and everything. Thank y'all so much. Means the world to us. Cleus, you like cheese? Oh, come on now. Duker, where you at? You're a cheesehead. Mage is picking up the crumbs off the bottom. Where's Lou? Lou? Mage says, I didn't get a bite. Whew, we had a good time today in this video, and me and the pups stayed warm. I'd like to thank ARIAT for sponsoring this video because they do keep me looking good. Don't forget, check out that link down there below. Whew, but it is with pride, honor, and privilege that I tip my hat and I salute all the veterans and the servicemen and women that have kept that old flag flying over camp no matter where we be. Rest of you get in here really close, I'm gonna give you a great big hug. We love you, we do. God bless you each and every one, and we'll see you down the Cowboy Meatball Sub Trail.
You need new moves.
Say,
Yeah.
when you're my age, new moves is hard to come by. Especially when it's cold and arthritis is setting in every joint. So just remember that.
Okay.
Look at her, she is passed out right there. Well,
Don't start with well. You can.
no. Well, it's pretty hard for me not to say it. I've been saying it for like 60-something years.
I know, because
you
I have to edit it out all the time.
People don't mind hearing it. You ask people.
They don't mind hearing it because I edit out like 85 times that you've said it before.
So what is another word you'd like for me to use instead of well? How about
Skippy.
boy howdy?
Yeah.
Boy howdy, let's get on with making these meatballs, you know, too?